Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Esteemed Gentleman podcast for Monday, February 28th. I'm your host, Scott Labrie, and joined alongside me, Uncle T-Bag, Tyler Sund.
Hello. Did that sound roboty? Am I all fucked up still?
No, it's just like a, I don't know if it's a slight delay there.
Slight delay, yeah.
And all day, Eric Deshane.
Hello.
So, for those listening, Tyler is a picture in video form because he is not at his house. He is somewhere else, and internet maybe not quite as good as to what he's used to. So
It is.
Yeah.
Brutal.
It'll get us through. So if he gets a little roboty here and there, that is the reason.
Yeah, sorry about that, but yeah, stuff
Tyler,
out of our control.
Yeah, Tyler, did you want to explain kind of what your life situation is now? It's kind of a big deal.
My life situation.
Yeah.
I quit my job at the dealership.
It's free.
I'm free. It feels really good, honestly. I didn't realize how liberating it was going to feel. And I'm gonna be going back into the oil field for a bit, doing some very menial tasks, labor stuff, outdoorsy stuff. So that's gonna be nice, some fresh air, longer hours, but I mean, financially, it's gonna help out, and it's a good step forward for me and the fam jam. So it's gonna be good.
Good.
I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm. So you're in Lloyd this week. You're saying, right?
Yes, and we are currently watching Carly's brother, whom she has not seen since Leia was born.
Oh wow!
Is being picked up by her mom and Randy, and they'll be back hopefully by Friday or Saturday. So we got a house sit with their horse-sized dog, and I'm going to take all of my orientation courses while I'm here. So I thought I'd bring all my gear here, but apparently the internet is just as good as it is at my house.
Yeah.
Useless.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, it is, man. No, congratulations. It's awesome to hear for your friends. So yeah.
Yes. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hopefully less complaining from Tyler on the podcast going forward.
Right.
It's funny,
Exactly.
I was talking to my mom and sister, right? And my mom, she supports the podcast. She'll share every post. She does not listen to it. Maybe once a month, if that.
Okay.
My sister listens to every episode. And so I told them that you got a new job there. And then my mom's like, "What? Why? Do you not like his job?" My sister's like, "Mom, he complains about it all the time."
Every episode, man. That's funny. That's hilarious.
So hopefully you'll have better mental health going forward. Cause
I think so.
it sure
I
seems
think it
to
will.
stress you out and make you angry. So, but yeah. So, it is the last day of the month, February 28th. Hard to believe February's done already.
2 months in on 2022 already. My God.
Yep. One step closer to summer.
We lost him.
We lost him.
Oh,
He's coming.
He's back.
Tyler,
Hello?
do you read me?
Hello.
He's trying to use the camera? Or...
Maybe.
Anyway, we'll just continue, and if he pops in, he pops in.
Yeah, so it's amazing how fast it's flying by already. Yeah, but yeah.
One step closer to summer, you can't complain. So.
Yay! Hopefully the cold snap's all done with now. Hopefully it's warmer weathers from now here and out. It's March right away, so
true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably get more snow. Usually, how it goes.
I don't mind the snow. I'm tired of the minus 40. I'm just
I'm losing you guys.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
If he Tyler might dip in and out. It's all good. But yeah, we were just saying that we're happy that we're closer to summer and hopefully no more cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So it is the end of the month, so that means we do our monthly recap. What we've been playing, what we've been watching, give our recommendations from that. So who wants to go first?
I think the big one for the month was probably Boba Fett. We all watched and talked about that one. That was probably the big one of
we
that
did
one.
do the recap review.
That was done a couple weeks ago. But no, that's probably the biggest one of the month was that one for all of us. Sure.
That and Jackass, but then again, we also did a review of that. So
that too as well. Like that way, those two were probably the two bigger ones.
Any other shows you watched at all?
For me, the big one this month was, I'm sure I talked about it up and down to you guys all fucking month, was Legend of Vox Machina on Amazon.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so like it's essentially what it is. It is the Critical Role D&D campaign, like with Matt Mercer, Marisha Ray, all these voice actors been doing D&D for years. Did a Kickstarter to get one of their campaigns privately funded, pretty much, and it blew up. They made $11 million on Kickstarter. It's like one of the highest ones ever of all time.
Wow.
So the series finally came out after like years of development because of COVID. And yeah, they released 12 episodes and it is phenomenal. It is, I would rank it on par with like, for my favorite shows, like next to Avatar and like Castlevania and like shows. I think since it finished up 2 weeks ago, I think I've rewatched it like 3 times since it's finished, start to finish again. I absolutely love it. And being a D&D guy, it's very much like little teasers and little like nods to the D&D lore and everything else, and what happened in their campaign, which I've watched in there as well too. It's phenomenal. I absolutely love it. It is very, very adult. Lots of swearing, lots of gore, lots of cursing, but it's everything I love in the show, and it's one of my favorite ones I've ever seen in a while.
So is it a scripted show, or is it like they did a campaign and then
they did a campaign, a D&D campaign for 130 episodes worth, like, and each one episode's like 4 hours long. Like there's 3 campaigns, 3 sessions in this campaign. This is the first one of the first campaign, the first session. The story is about the Briarwoods and one of the characters' backstory with that, and there's a whole other 2 more side stories to go off of that as well. But it's essentially just like scripted, but what is scripted based was what happened pretty much in the original campaign, like how it all twisted and how it happened, how certain scenarios happened. It was all very much like, yeah, it's based off of this with the background of this random kind of D&D campaign happening at the same time. So it's, I would say it's semi-scripted at best, but it wasn't like, it was planned out and done, and this is pretty much like a storyboard and proper screenplay version of that campaign, pretty much. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's I absolutely love it, and I've been trying to get you guys to watch it, but it's one of those like, I don't know if they'll be into it too much, but you don't have to be that big into D&D to enjoy it. It's very much a standalone thing. I enjoy it because of what it is, but you can very much just watch it and not have any idea what's going on or what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might start that tonight then.
I highly recommend it. The first 2 episodes are a good little primer into how it is, and the next 10 are like the one major arc that happens after that, right? So if you did the first 2 interest you, then yeah. If not, then don't worry about the rest too much. But the first 2 I would highly recommend first. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That sounds. When you compare it to Avatar, you're perking my ears.
I am, and my concern is like, Avatar, but for me, that's to me, anyways, right? Like Avatar's one of those series where once a year I'll rewatch the whole start to finish again, right? This would be on par with that for me.
Nice. Anything else, or
that's kind of it. With this Vox Machina stuff again, I've been getting back into Critical Role and D&D stuff again. Like I bought more books, I bought more stuff on D&D Beyond website, and I want to get back into it. I know Warhammer's been pretty much my forte for the last like 6 months. I still like doing that, but D&D is one of those things where I think we all can kind of enjoy. It's not just me and Tyler. So I was going back to my campaign I wrote, and hopefully one day I can DM a session for us and have something with that. And yeah, so I've been watching more Critical Role, more Dungeons and Dragons stuff to kind of get primed into being a DM again. And yeah, so see if that perks my interest again. So yeah, it's been kind of it for my month. Lots of homework.
Yeah. Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Tyler, are you there?
I'm still there. Yeah, you guys are choppy, but I'm still here. I don't know what you guys just Right here. I'm just gonna connect to the hotspot on my phone here and see if that helps a little bit.
Okay.
All right, go for it.
Scott, you might as well do some filler.
Yeah, well, I'll go ahead there. So I watched a few shows in February. Me and Eric talked about it a little bit, but Demon Slayer wrapped up. That was really, really good.
Oh yes, yeah, that one. But yeah, that one I forgot about because I was watching that back in January. But yeah, I finished up this month. That's right. Yes.
So
yeah,
phenomenal anime if you're into that sort of stuff.
So we both talked about in season 1 how episode 19, the fight in that one, and the fight in episode
the second last episode.
Yeah. What's your favorite fight out of those two?
Oh, the second last episode. That's like the best fight
that was
ever.
The best
like
one.
in anything.
19 was good, but that was like holy shit. That was awesome. Like just the visual.
Like it somehow topped the movie fight, which is like
damn right.
You're competing with a movie budget.
So we're all like all the heart and soul of that season went into because that last fight was fucking just whoa.
That's the thing because it like kind of starts off a little slow, like for the first. How many episodes is that arc?
12 or 11. Yeah.
It starts in episode 7 technically or something.
Technically, yeah. The first 5 are like just kind of filler story stuff, and then the last 5 are just like poof. Yeah,
it just starts going hard. It's like okay, all fights. It's like all right.
I was getting a little burnt out because it was very much like Dragon Ball Z in that sense. It was like okay, the last fight's taking like too many episodes. Like, hey, get this over with. But it was worth it at that end because that final fight. Yes.
And freaking Zenitsu just going insane.
Yeah.
I like how he finally grew a little bit, like because the first season very like huge scaredy cat, super annoying a lot of the times, and like the second season he's still a scaredy cat, but he's like but standing up to the enemies. And he's just like shaking and that sort of thing, and then like all right, eventually he's gonna get to the point where he's not sleeping while fighting. He could do it awake, which will be fucking sweet.
Not necessarily the same move over and over again, even though it is awesome. But
that's what I think. Like once he's like finally awake and fighting, he's like, "All right, here's my second move." It's like, "Oh fuck.
of thousands of moves to know, he knows one move, and it's awesome.
What else did I watch? I watched Murderville on Netflix. I think I talked briefly about it, but it's got Will Arnett in it, and it's basically like an all scripted / improv show where they bring in one random celebrity in like every episode, but the celebrity doesn't have the script or know what's going on at all. And Will Arnett's like a homicide detective, and it's a comedy show, and they're like, all right, the celebrity is like your new partner, and you have to go solve a murder or something like that. So usually it works out like they meet the celebrity and they talk and then they go and like visit 3 suspects or something like that, and then they get to ask them questions and a lot of things, and usually it's just Will Arnett like fucking with the celebrity a lot of times. Like they had the first episode is Conan O'Brien, so the first suspect was like this waitress, so they go to like this diner, and Will Arnett's like, oh man, we gotta get the sloppy jalapenos here. It's the best sandwich you'll ever had. It's the wettest sandwich you'll ever have. And they bring this like big sloppy Joe down. He's like, oh, you need some of the Joe sauce. And he like grabs this like hot sauce and just starts dumping it all on there. It's like, go take a bite. And like Conan's just like on the verge of like throwing up because it's like so spicy and that sort of thing. Yeah. And like Will Arnett's just like hiding himself, trying not to laugh, and it's just like a cool idea for a show. Yeah. And most episodes are pretty good. There was just a couple that were kind of a little iffy. They had not T-Pain, what's his name? Marshawn Lynch, the NFL player for the second episode. And he was pretty good too. So I recommend that. And they're quick. I think there's like 8 episodes, half an hour each, if that. They go by real fast. So. And then the other thing I've been watching is Pam and Tommy.
Oh yes,
and that show is really freaking good. Like, I'm surprised how much I've been enjoying that show, and like, I'm surprised how much they have kind of like leaned into like Pam and Tommy are the victims here, like because like history remembers it kind of like they're kind of these dumb celebrities or whatever being stupid, but like
exactly.
like this very last episode, they attempted to sue Penthouse magazine because Penthouse got a copy of the tapes and they were gonna put stills out essentially in the magazine. So they decided to sue them to stop this because right in the middle of this is like Pam Anderson's did Barbed Wire, like her movie, and she's like about to like kind of really explode from Baywatch. So they're trying to like keep this all under wraps and that sort of thing. And so they're suing, and then she gets called in to do a deposition and this sort of thing. And it's just freaking brutal. Like all the questions they like ask her, like it's just like kind of gross. Like it's like, oh, do you consider doing nude modeling a sex act or whatever? And she's like, no. It's like, well, does that make you a prostitute if you consider it a sex act? And it's just like, were you paid? Have you been paid for sex before? And it's just like, ugh.
What
Jesus.
Yeah, and it's just like, and like also like they deal with like a I won't say that. That's a kind of a big deal. But I mean, it's also based on a true story. So, but I won't say it. But yeah, and like they show like at the beginning like their love story, which is like awkward and weird at the beginning, but it kind of like takes form, and you're kind of like rooting for them, and then all this shit happens, so then you're just like feel bad for them, and now their relationship's turning sour because of it, and you're just like, fuck, man. Fuck Seth Rogen. Why did you steal his tape, you little bitch? Or whatever.
I thought you were real laugh. Like, what?
No, Seth Rogen plays like the guy who does it. And like he hasn't been in the like the last like 2 episodes. Like I feel like he's been in there like a little bit at the beginning, but I think there's 2 episodes left. So comes out Wednesdays on Disney Plus.
Which I guess the stars, right? So that's why they're able to do it. Yeah, because Disney Plus. What? But that makes sense. Why?
You got to make sure the the parental lock isn't on.
Yeah, exactly.
Dave came to me and he's like, yeah, I'm watching Pam and Tommy. Like, oh, is it any good? Does it show boobies? He's like, oh, it shows way more than boobies. He's like, here, check out this episode. And it's like, I'm like, holy man. Like, there's... I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Yeah. It was like Bruno level stuff, man. Yeah.
I think
it looks pretty good.
First or second episode. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, you guys would honestly like it a lot. I would say. So.
Yeah.
That's all I've been watching. Yeah. Well, and some Steve-O podcast where he's been, because he had all the Jackass guys on individually, so I've been just kind of going through that and like hearing the origins of Jackass and that sort of thing, like how they started with Big Brother magazine, which was like a skateboarding magazine, and how like Johnny Knoxville was a writer there, and how he originally was going to test out self-defense items like pepper spray.
Oh, I think I've heard that story. Yeah.
And then so they would like do skate videos, and they would like put like these kind of stunts in there at the same time. And then they like quickly found out, I was like, well, people like the stunts more than the skateboarding.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
And then they eventually sold the show to MTV, and they like kind of like got fucked over by MTV. A lot of the guys like got paid for like $1,500 for a whole season, kind of thing. It was pretty...
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Wow.
That doesn't surprise me with their bullshit with MTV. They usually pull stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, like, film industry's a greasy industry.
Not knowing how people do contracts and not having an agent, probably just kids just money, sweet. Like no, like you're getting fucked over here, bud. Like I can totally see that.
A lot of their like most favorite skit or from the newest movie, anyways, is the Silence of the Lambs skit. When then they're in the dark there, like they all love that skit, which is pretty great.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler. What about you? What have you been watching?
Well, I wanted to chip in because Eric was talking about Vox Machina. We watched it all in 2 nights, I think, after the first episode we watched it, and we started watching it again the next night, and Carly and I'm like, yeah, Eric recommended this show, let's watch it. So I had watched the first episode already, and I rewatched the first episode with Carly, and she was like, this show is fucking hilarious and awesome. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, I'm starting to pick up like the cues of like what must be like the dungeon thing. Like, there's a door that's locked in there. It's
Yeah.
like this must be cursed because I can't get it. I can just imagine them trying to roll, trying to figure out how to get this door unlocked.
Yeah.
And it's like their plans are kind of going to shit because it's not what's supposed to be happening, right? So then I forgot that it was based on a D&D game. Like I took that away because when you told me that it was based on that, I was just kind of taking all that into context. I'm like, oh yeah, I can see how this is tying into this and this and this. And then I got kind of swept away from the story because it's just so like there's so much going on, and even though they don't tell you who's who or what's going on with what, it doesn't really seem to matter because they're just kind of like they just it just works. Everything works, and it's hilarious. And there's some really sad parts too, like what the fuck. And it's like they don't hold back on anything either. And it was a very easy, fast watch for me. We burned through it really quickly.
Yep.
It was really good. Really, really good.
Good.
Yeah. And then another TV show that Carly and I just started watching. I remember seeing trailers for it years ago called The Terror. It was on AMC originally. It's got Syrian Harris and like it's the British actors you see in dramas that you're like, oh, I've seen them in movies before. You know who they are.
I mean,
Like
Cillian Murphy?
No.
Oh, okay.
Syrian Harris. Syrian Ciaran Harris. He's
Oh,
so anyways,
yeah.
it's like these British discoverers take the two ships and are trying to find an opening through the Atlantic to get across through like Hudson Bay and all that stuff to the Pacific, so they can increase like the speed of trade to go to India. And they get caught in like the ice shelf and freezes over, and then all this crazy shit starts happening.
Ooh.
And it's really fucked up. And just the whole idea of being stuck on a ship with a bunch of dudes, and it's minus 50 out, and winters last like 11 months ish in the area that they're in, and they have enough rations for, they're like in some parts there's little flashbacks where they're talking about like taking rations and stuff. They have, well, we have enough for about 3 years, but if we get stuck in the first year, we can cut back and we can extend it about 5 years. But then you're watching the show, and of course the one guy, he's from Chernobyl. If you guys have seen Chernobyl, it's the main Russian scientist guy who's like, he's the second captain of the Terror. The Erebus is where the main Sir Charles is in charge of, but he's like, we have to go back, like, yes, we'll have to go back with our tails between our legs, but I mean, at least everyone will come back, right? Because if we risk going now, we can get frozen in here and we can all die out here and nobody will even know we were out here, like, at all. And just like crazy, like how the ice shifts and stuff, like just all that already is terrifying. And then there's like this creature that's like hunting them too. So they're out there isolated and it's like, oh, it's fucked. It's so good. And I'm trying to figure out, because I think this is loosely based on a true story.
I'm reading
Because
it
it's
right
like,
now. Yeah, it kind of is.
it kind of is based on a true story, because they think it's like some kind of creature, but it's like, it looks like a polar bear, but not quite. It's like, what the fuck is that thing, right? But oh man, it's like, it's not fast paced, but it's got that super brooding, like,
burn terror kind of thing. Yeah,
they're slowly each getting picked off and succumbing to like hypothermia and fucking frostbite and just like. And then their rations they have like lead poisoning and stuff too, because the canning company, the lowest bidding guys, they bought all the food from them, and they're like, how come everyone's teeth are turning black? Like, what the fuck? It's not scurvy, but it's like, oh, and then they find out it's lead poisoning. It's like, fuck, because it's from the food cans. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's just a really depressing show, and it's so good.
so good.
Yeah, and then the only other movies that I watched was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I touched on last episode, and then Jackass.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really else worth that I can think of, but and then for games, there's been pretty much nothing lately.
There's tons of stuff.
Yeah, if you have a PS5 or if you have a high-end PC.
No, like I haven't been. Like I know there's lots to play.
yeah.
I do know that for sure. Like even Warhammer 3, I'm surprised I haven't even downloaded that yet, because I've been waiting. I've been waiting for so long for this game to come out, but it's like I know that as soon as I do, it's a rabbit hole, and that's it. That's all my life will be.
Bye, Tyler. Yeah.
Goodbye. Another 600 hours of my life. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'd say games too as well. I forgot to mention. I started playing on my free time whenever I had a second to was Mech Warriors 5, which I talked about before, and I loved it because I played a lot of Mech Warriors games growing up, and the last few before this was very much like more RPG heavy and like finance management, where it was all about, you have the crew to pay, you have mechanics, you have it was too simulator and not just a fun arcade. This one finally went back to its roots and being like, yeah, who cares? Here's some profits and some stuff you have to make, but just go blow shit up and be fine, right? So I love it for that, right? So it's just a fun little time burn, and its story's all right. It's very typical space drama BS political stuff, but just control a giant robot and blow shit up. Awesome.
Yeah.
My kind of game.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might pick up a new game here soon because.
Which one? Elden Ring?
No, well, that's the thing. Is like I know I won't like that game, but there's some like elements of it that I'm like, well, maybe I might get into this one, but
it looks beautiful and it looks frustrating.
It looks like Dark Souls. I'm like, I don't want to play Dark Souls. I don't care if it's a new IP.
Fuck Dark Souls.
It's not fucking Dark Souls. No.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was
see lots of trailers for Destiny, the new Destiny expansion. I might want to try that.
The Witch one looks really good.
Yeah, the Destiny Witch Queen, whatever it is. Yeah. So
yeah, that was
cool. Up again, but again, it's only 3 people and we're 4, so fuck yeah.
No, there's only 3 Steam gentlemen.
That's true.
She doesn't have to play. No, I'm just kidding. Even though she would love it.
I know a game I want to pick up. I think it's only in PS5 right now. Is the new Horizon game, Horizon Forbidden West.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really good, but I think it's only PS5 right now. I know 4 just got released a little while ago. I mean, the first one got released to PC a little while ago here, but I really want to play the second one. It looks awesome. I
watched Donkey's review on it.
Mm-hmm.
He says it's a perfectly polished open world game, but it's super boring.
A lot of lore, big lore dump, right? So yeah, they kind of
exactly.
Everything went over from the first one was all in the second one. There's lots of like cutscenes from what I hear, but I don't care. I don't mind
lots and lots of talking. Yeah.
To know what the fuck happened, and
he said the same thing about the new Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Like the dialogue is just absolutely terrible, but the gameplay is just addictive.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing. Like I'm still playing that, but I've kind of starting to peter out a little bit on it right now because it is just a lot of the same stuff. It's just like catch Pokemon.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, you unlock the new area, new Pokemon, which is cool, but it's like, God, they just need to add the trainers and the gym battles, and you got
there's not that in there even.
No, yeah, this is like a brand new country, man. This is like 200 years ago. There isn't.
That's like basic recipe Pokemon games. Like you battle with trainers and gyms, and like I get like a replay value, or even like which one had like the battle train where it was like constant like survival stuff like that. Like more of that, but I don't know.
There's been a lot of criticisms of this game, and they weren't only developed it for a year. They had a year to make this game. So
that's it.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Once I heard that, I was like, all right.
That makes a lot more sense for a lot of stuff.
Fine.
Yeah,
it's pretty fucking awesome.
It looks like shit. They had a year, so
that makes sense.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Because they essentially just wanted it to come out at the same time as these Diamond Pearl remakes because it's all set in the same area and that sort of thing. Kind of tie-ins, like your main characters. I guess like the character from that game got sent back in time. There's a lot of time travel, Pokemon theory, lots of stuff in this game, which is kind of cool.
It's all oh yeah.
Which is, and you brought up the battle train. Apparently, like the guy who runs the battle train got sent back in time, and he's
so his version of it now too.
Yeah.
All right.
That
was a big thing in the Pearl. Yeah, Pearl. Or what's the Platinum? No, what the fuck? Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Yeah, that was that was the one. That's the one I had. Yeah, the Platinum was the third expansion one. Yeah, that one was really good. Yeah.
So. But yeah, it's just like hopefully the next game's gonna hit. It's gonna be awesome.
Well, now they know what not to do. So yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's it for me. Probably, I was thinking of picking it up. Yeah, like either Dying Light 2 maybe, or see if Assassin's Creed Valhalla is on sale or something.
It was free, and I think it's on sale now this weekend. Yeah, I see lots of trailers for Dying Light 2, and I'm curious about that one too. But
the gameplay looks good.
Looks good, yeah.
I think you can play co-op too, which
apparently, yeah.
Which I wish it was on Game Pass, because then that'd be a no-brainer for us.
All right, yeah.
Right.
Some more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's about it for me. Anybody else
Yeah.
got any final thoughts?
Not really.
Not
No.
really. No.
Been watching a shitload of Markiplier. I don't know what it is.
Markiplier.
I know. He used to be so annoying to me. But I've been watching his like 3 scary games
Oh
things,
yeah.
and they're actually kind of funny. So I mean, and he did a review on flashlights, the brightest flashlight. He's sitting in his closet. It was the most stupid thing I've ever seen in my life, but I couldn't help but like laugh. I don't know. He's got something. I don't know what it is,
Mm.
but
I mean, I forget the one episode, one series with it's him and that other guy,
anus,
and
anus,
Eunice,
anus,
whatever his name.
Eunice, anus.
I feel those clips are fucking hilarious because Markiplier is like, he's somewhat smarter and socially inept, whereas this guy's a fucking like dipshit for when it comes to all social things and all stuff
Hey, he's
in
a
life.
dumbass.
He's a dumbass, right? And it was
Yeah.
those interactions were funny. Like when Markiplier, I didn't know this. Markiplier is actually like well versed in carpentry. He used to be a deck builder. So the one video of him and this guy trying to build a deck, which
A
is an
paintball
excuse
gun?
with a paintball gun. Yeah, just an excuse
Yeah.
to get him with it. And safety gear to get shoot him with a paintball gun. That's the whole reason why it's for. Oh yeah, of course, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
That was a good one.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's about it.
All right, cool. Well, I guess we'll get out of here. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Share with a friend. That would help us out. If you're listening on podcast service like Apple, Google, Spotify, those sort of things, subscribe to the feed. Leave a rating. And head over to our Facebook page. Like the page. Submit a question for next Monday. We're going to be doing our Ask Us Anything episode. And, yeah. That'll be it. We'll talk to you again on Wednesday. We'll see you later.
Goodbye.
See you guys.
Bye.